What's up, guys? Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son. And now, since we're done with the Ant-Man trailer review, let's talk about that show, right? Agent Carter. Now, Agent Miss Peggy Carter's from the Captain America first movie, and then she got her own one shot. She's played by let me get her name real quick. She's played by Haley Atwell, and Haley Atwell does a great job as Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter is one of the fan favorites coming from that first Captain America movie. Even watching it, I thought I was the only one until hearing a lot of input on that film. I thought she was really great in that film, and then I guess everybody else agreed. Excuse me. We also have James D. Arcee as Edwin Jarvis, and then we also have recurring back to Howard Stark from the Captain America movie, Dominic Cooper. So, what did I think about Agent Carter? Sorry, still a little sick. I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the show. I think the show is a lot better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I remember watching the pilot for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I couldn't get into it. I couldn't get into the show. I dropped it. It was just terrible. I just did not like it at all. However, this show taking place in the 1940s and having a strong female lead and having all these, just seeing the elements of what happened in S.H.I.E.L.D. in the press, like how it all came to be, that interests me. That's a very interesting plot. That's a very interesting. We all know Peggy is one of the founders of S.H.I.E.L.D., one of the first to work in S.H.I.E.L.D., so to speak. So this already interests me, and watching the show, I definitely am looking forward to future episodes. Did it need to be 2 hours? Hell no. It did not need to be a 2 hour pilot. It just didn't. It really, some parts I was getting a little, well, during the whole thing, I was getting a little bit bored because some parts are really slower, and I think it would have worked perfectly if they just would have done an hour and then, next week another hour or 30 minutes or whatever, how long the show's going to be each episode. But 2 hours was just ridiculous. I think they really dropped the ball on that. But other than that, the premise was a little bit shaky. We having to do with Peggy helping out Howard Stark, who's accused of selling weapons, just like Tony was accused by Miss Brown when he thought she was saying that his weapons were in the hands of terrorist groups. Well, this is the same thing as Howard Stark, where he basically is being framed. He didn't. No knowledge of his weapons being taken. So they're going after him, and he's pretty much a wanted man. And Peggy Carter has to clear his name. I really love the dynamic with Peggy and Howard. I really like the actors and actress who's playing these characters. I really like the relationships in this show. And I like the little, little bit shock value, because you see Peggy Carter living with the roommate, and then there's going to be spoilers. So, spoiler, here's a spoiler right now. But I really liked the fact that they did use consequences on Peggy Carter trying to clear Howard Stark's name. She's getting through all these situations, and people around her are going to be hurt. So she has a roommate in the beginning, but that roommate ends up getting shot and dies by this madman, by one of the men who is going after her, who's trying to, I believe, trying to stop her from getting all this kind of like bomb-like chemicals that Howard Stark made, that these our villains have. Hang on. Sorry about that. But anyway, yeah, I love the consequences where basically, she's involved in dangerous acts and people will get hurt around her. So her roommate dying in this episode, I thought was a great little touch to show that, hey, people are not safe in the show. People will get hurt. If you go into this line of duty, if you go this far. So, and then it really brings Peggy Carter's too, because she did lose the cap, and we do see flashbacks of when Captain America from the first movie dives into the icy cold abyss. I think that was one of the problems. However, it was like Kishimoto all over the place. They had so many flashbacks in this show. I think they started dying out towards the very end. But man, we do not need that many flashbacks. We get it. She loved Captain. Captain's gone. She's dealing with it. We get it. There was no need to really have. I think they really shoehorned Chris Evans, and when they did throw those flashbacks in, it was kind of just like, it took you out of it because Chris Evans is in the Avengers, and you could tell the footage doesn't really match up with the present time show. The show looked great though. The presentation looked great. The production design looked great. Peggy's outfits looked great. She looked gorgeous when she was a blonde as well. Not saying she doesn't look gorgeous without being blonde, because she's a very beautiful woman. Excuse me. It really did feel that 1947 feel. I really liked that. I really liked the. But there was also one relationship that I really enjoyed, and that was Miss Carter and also Jarvis. Jarvis is in here, and this is a younger version of Jarvis, and you find out he has a wife. He's helping out Peggy as Howard Stark pretty much puts Jarvis with Peggy as Howard goes off somewhere, probably to go, go find more weapons or whatever. I couldn't remember what he said. But I love the relationship with Jarvis and Peggy. I thought that was one of the strong factors in the show. I really loved that relationship. Jarvis is the comedy did really work in the show, which I was surprised. I kind of chuckled a little bit, especially with Jarvis and Peggy when they were together. I think, Jarvis always wants to kind of help her out, and Jarvis is not very reliable, but it seems like he has a little bit of secrets of his own as he's talking to Howard, and they're discussing Peggy Carter, and like she has no clue what's going on behind the scenes. So I think it has to do with forming Shield. But Jarvis was definitely a bright spot. I think the best thing, the example is Gotham, that piece of shit show. Well, the bright spot is Bullocks and actually Gordon together, and this is a bright spot as well with Peggy and Jarvis together. So that was a great relationship building towards the future. So the action scenes were really nicely done. They were really nicely choreographed. It's stuff we've seen before, but definitely with the fighting style. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed seeing Peggy really kicking ass. They do really throw that feminist in your face, like she's a woman, or she doesn't take shit from any man. They really throw that in your face, which I don't really think I guess, I know why. I guess it's, you expect that with a show like this, but, I thought they did a better job in Captain America, honestly, where they didn't really throw that in your face too much, and it was very subtle. Peggy Carter, she was her own. Everybody respected her. And I guess that's a really key to the show as well, because she admits, she's like, when she was in the war, she was very respected. She had a job, but now that the war's over, she has a desk job, and her colleagues don't respect her at all. So that's a great, that's a great little conflict going on there. But I just feel like they're just really shoving it in your face. Maybe just be a little bit more subtle, because she is a very strong woman. And there is a couple. I think that one of the guys who has I can't remember his name, but he's definitely handicapped, and he does really respect Carter. And I don't know if there's going to be a little love relationship there. I don't know if that's going to be her future husband, because we know Peggy has a husband and has a daughter. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting going forward. There's good things about the show. There's a lot more good than there's bad. I mean, a lot of people are saying this is a snooze fest. I think it was a snooze fest because they really dropped the ball making it 2 hours long. The pilot should have not been, the series premiere should have not been 2 hours long. But I believe that some of the bad was the special effects. I mean, you're going to get that. It's a TV show. It's not a film. Big motion picture, not a lot of money in the budget. I thought the explosions were, a little bit kind of fake and stuff. And I thought some of the explosions, because it says this could wipe out like a whole, like kind of not block, like an avenue or some sort. There's a scene where the truck goes over the cliff and all these particles, all these bombs just go off. And, it goes over. Peggy grabs Jarvis and the guy she's captured, and they get him off the truck, and they kill the main villain, this antagonist who can't speak, and that truck goes over the cliff, and all these bombs go off, and so here's the cliff, and here's Peggy and all them on the side, and it just really just wipes out the whole, pretty much underneath the ocean. They would have been dead. A lot of these things a lot of the action sequences, I'm like, Peggy would have been dead. There's no way. There's like coincidence. Dead, 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 dead. But it was a TV show, so I kind of put my disbelief away. But I was a little bit irked when all these bombs are blowing up, and like, so how far does this damn thing go? I thought it was very interesting though when all the metal would spread out and then come back in like a magnet, and it really reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy when, Chris Pratt throws that one little kind of, not a bomb, but a little magnet thing where all the guys expand, but then come like they all just come together like in like a magnet, like and form this little ball. So that little scene reminded me of Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought the antagonist, I thought that was a smart move of making him mute. I really like that idea because we're being shown of why this guy's a bad guy, and his actions determine why he's a bad guy. So I thought that was a smart move. I really liked how the homemade emailing system that he had. That was pretty funny. It was really cool to see. Is that villain going to be very memorable? Not really, but it was a great idea to have a mute. And I think I always say that a lot of people who don't speak, like you have people who have handicaps, like villains who have handicaps, like either they're blind or they can't speak or whatsoever. Those are the best villains because they're quiet, they're silent, they stay to themselves, but they show why they're a menace by their actions. So I think actions really spoke louder than words because he was killing a lot of people. And I was a little bit kind of, I was like, oh, well, they're showing this on a TV show. Nice. You just get a little bit of blood right here in the forehead and a little bit of a hole. So, yeah, and then sometimes they didn't even show him shooting the person. But that one scene they did, so that was kind of crazy. Overall, Peggy Carter, I'm going to stick with it. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I really liked the 1940s feel, but they keep it like super long. I don't know how far the show can go because it is kind of a snooze fest because of that just because they made it 2 hours. They should have just made it an hour, but we'll see how it goes. I really think it's a lot better than Gotham. God, Gotham. There was a little bit of corny parts. Like I said, it looked like she was using a freaking Men in Black. The little, when she had the glasses on, she had that big ass light, the little Men in Black rip off. But overall, I really like the actors. I really like this character, Carter. I really like the relationships they build. I really like the set design. I really like the feel of it, the tone of it. I think the comedy works really great. I think the plot and villains do need to get a little bit better. We need a big bad villain. I thought it was going to be Hydra, but I guess not. Hydra's not in here yet. It might be still Hydra. I don't know what that guy was making the sign of, so I have no clue what that was. But overall, I really enjoy it. I think you guys should check it out. 2 hours is definitely somewhat of kind of a chore, but if you look past it just being it so long, I think this is a show well worth watching. So we'll see how it goes on the next episode, but I really enjoyed it, and I think I'll give the series premiere an 8 out of 10. No, I'll give it a 7 out of 10 because that 2 hours just really takes you out of it. It's just ridiculous how they made it 2 hour season premiere. No need for a 2 hour season premiere, but like I said, I think Agent Carter has potential to be just balanced, one of the best shows out there on TV. That doesn't have to be dark, like The Walking Dead or like a Breaking Bad, Sons of Anarchy. A light show like for Marvel. I think it has a chance to be way better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Gotham, all these other comic book to TV shows. So we'll see how it goes. So thank you guys for listening. If you like this video, please press the like button and please subscribe for more. And let me know if you saw Agents of Carter, if you agree or disagree. I want to hear your thoughts on basically the whole episode, 2 hours of the season premiere. So let me know. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you guys later.